Well, it's been 10 days since my marathon, and in that marathon, at about mile 5 or 6 to go, I tore my glute medius, although I continued with the run and finished the race. I haven't run since then, so today's going to be my first run. The goal is to go maybe a half a mile if the hip is doing okay, and probably do intervals of like 1 minute running, 1 minute off. I may just make it to 1 minute and that's it for the day, but we'll see how it goes. Looking forward to see how things go. It's a lovely day down here on Cape Cod, so we're going to get outside and on the bike path and by the ocean and see what happens. Okay, here goes the first minute. Oh yeah, I can feel that hip. Not sure it's going to work. Don't know if it's just tight, muscles need loosening, or what. That's 30 seconds. All right, we got a minute in. I'm not sure if that was good or not for my hip, but we'll take a walk, see how it goes. So I've got 3 intervals done so far, 3 minutes. The front of the hip's a little sore. I am still black and blue. Let me show you that 10 days later. Yeah, the blood went down from the glute medius down into my leg there, so yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. So what I feel is sort of a tightness at the top of the hip. I can feel it sort of like right in here. Oh, the black and blues down there. I can feel right in here. It's just sort of tight, not painful. So I still have that goal of running a sub 3:30 marathon at 67 years of age, targeting the Cape Cod Marathon in October, which actually runs partially on this bike path during the race. So, and it's my hometown where I grew up. I don't live there now. So one of the things I've been doing is, I knew I had to do this and I just didn't have a good plan for it the past few months, and that is I need to watch what I eat. My goal is to lose at least 30 pounds. And so I've started that a week ago. I've already lost a good handful of pounds, and my goal is to eat healthy, no sugar, no cokes, no diet drinks, water, no snacks, no more ice cream, no more treats. I'm running on what's called the Shining Sea bike path, and it's named that for a specific reason, and that is that Catherine Lee Bates, the author of America the Beautiful, lived in Falmouth. And when she wrote From Sea to Shining Sea, the Atlantic Ocean in that sea to shining sea, I'm sure she was thinking about her town of Falmouth. Okay, I'm finishing up the last one. May do a bit extra. I have loosened up a bit. Feel pretty good. I'm very happy. I'll take a day off tomorrow. Try a little more in 2 days. Actually, feel pretty good after running. My walking is much more smooth. I had a sort of like a limp beforehand, but maybe I loosened things up a bit. I also noticed that the bottom of that right foot felt really tight, and that's why I said it's sort of like tippy-toeing earlier. But I'm very happy with this trial workout. Over here is a salt pond that connects with the ocean. I'll bring you down to the river there, where the ocean enters and exits the salt pond along with the tide. So I said I wanted to lose at least 30 pounds. Think of it this way, a pound of running lost is, I think they say, is like 1 second to 2 seconds. So per mile, so in a marathon, that can add up to be a lot of time. on my pace. I could lose more than that. I was very thin in college. I don't think I'd ever get down to my college weight, which is like in the 130s, but I'd certainly like to lose some weight from here. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm very determined on this. In 2023, when I made my comeback, 2022, 2023, one of the things I did was I lost a lot of weight, and that's when I was running much faster than I am now. And I made my big comeback. Half marathons, multiple of them, in around 135, slightly over, slightly under. A 3:38 marathon in the Cape, which I just did for enjoyment. It was my first marathon in I don't know, 14, 15 years. And I also think that with losing some weight, that'll take some of the pressure off my plantar fasciitis, which was really burning for over a week after that marathon, and also some of the pressure on my hips. So I'll be able to run a bit smoother and not have the problems I had at this marathon. So we'll see how that goes, but the first week has been really good. I have lost a good amount of weight in just 1 week. I think usually when you diet, most of that's water weight, but there's a lot of things I'm not eating anymore, and I'm eating much healthier, and I'm keying in on the protein. So looking forward to being a thinner me, which is where I should be anyhow. So this little wooden bridge on the rail trail here is over this little inlet. It's called the Trunk River. Okay, so that brings the ocean water in with the tides, and it brings it down into one of the salt marshes over there. So not a major river. It must be called the Trunk River because it must have reminded someone of an elephant's trunk, the way it turns like this. But let's see if we can see where it goes. Yeah, so it's going to go down there into one of the salt ponds. Pretty neat. So what do you do when you can't run and you're on Cape Cod? Well, you visit places like the Peterson Farm, Goodwill Park with the wife. There's some trails there I'm going to go biking on later in the week around the ponds. And of course, you need a good visit to the ocean off Surf Drive and Vineyard Sound. Fly, seagull, fly. There's a strong headwind. He's not making much, not traveling very far. Oh, there he goes. Falmouth Harbor. And this is the Trunk River Bridge, which I mentioned earlier. Getting some up close time with some seagulls. There you go. Here's looking at you. You can take some trails at Goodwill Park that take you around Long Pond, which is the town's water supply. I've never ridden the trails before or run them, so I had a good time on my fat bike checking them out. I have run about a half mile of the trail in the northern end. That's where in 1973 I started running as a cross-country runner for Falmouth High School, and it was part of our race course. Boy, do I look forward to running those trails someday when I'm feeling better. They're wide. Good surface to run on, some rocks, but they also have a nice roller of hills, so that'll be a good workout. The other thing, when you're down the Cape, make sure you spend some time with your loved one, in this case my wife, as we are enjoying an evening out on Surf Drive area, enjoying the beach by the rail trail. I really like Cape Cod. I love the town of Falmouth. We're using my dad's old house here. He passed away in February, and we're coming down to visit as long as we can to enjoy this town and his house. When you get back to your car from Nauset Lighthouse and you realize your keys are locked in the car, my cell phone battery died. Let's hope Sarah can get a hold of AAA. Open up the car for us. Yikes. Just a gorgeous day. So when I was in 5th grade, that'd be 1969, Falmouth started a program where all 5th grade classes could spend time learning about the ocean and Cape Cod, and we stayed in the old Coast Guard station there. I was in the room the second to the left on the bottom floor. This was all grass. The field was all grass going down to the cliffs, and we'd play softball multiple times a day here. It was one of the best weeks ever. 4 nights, 5 days. It cost us $5 back then to do that. Imagine what a trip like that would cost now for a school. But really great memories here. Eventually, I became a 5th grade teacher because it was events like this that really made me enjoy 5th grade myself. So this is the old Coast Guard station. And what a view we had. And I could look out my window and see the ocean because there's no vegetation here. You just look out the window and see the ocean. I'm guessing that the severe bleeding sign means you've been bitten by a shark. So call first aid if that happens. Here's the Nauset Lighthouse. My trip in 5th grade when we were here, we didn't know much about conservation, so we jumped off the dunes. You can't see them here. They're like really tall dunes straight down. We went colossal distances down on the dunes. You're not allowed on the dunes anymore. Good news, as we're calling AAA, what do we see on the ground? It looks like my keys. Somehow fell out of my pocket, off my keychain, that far from the car. Saved, yeah. Okay, it's 2 days after I did the 10 times a minute for a mile. I just hit a mile and turning around and come back to get a 2-miler in. Taking it easy on the hip. Feel a little bit unstable today. Tired. Could be from yesterday's field trip to the Cape Cod National Seashore and walking around in the sand a lot of times. We had a great trip. That's what you do when you can't run. You go see things and do things. Let's see how this goes. So I got 2 miles in at about 10-minute pace. I really felt wonky out there, but I got it done. The hips doesn't have pain in it, but it's definitely stiff right up where it inserts, I think, into the hip bone. But taking it slow. I got plenty of time to get into good shape. What's going on over here is in the parking lot, there is a sauna. People are swimming in the ocean and then going into the sauna. It's pretty wild. There's another gorgeous day here. A little windy, but we're getting back into shape.